After defeating Elina Svitolina in a difficult semi-final, Aryna Sabalenka advanced to the Australian Open final. However, controversy surrounding some of her on-court actions that have provoked uproar has overshadowed her success. Controversy is nothing new in Sabalenka, and this time it got even worse, shocking the tennis community. Sabalenka may have won the match, but her actions, especially a discriminatory remark she made during the competition, have garnered harsh criticism. It all started with a high-stakes match between Sabalenka and Svitolina during the semi-final. Sabalenka's typical growls reverberated around the court as she dominated every rally. Many tennis players indulge in grunting, which is a regular aspect of the game. However, something went wrong this time. Sabalenka made a racist remark to her Ukrainian opponent, Elina Svitolina, during a heated protest. She appeared to be agitated. The scene was stunning, and the crowd as well as those watching on television couldn't comprehend what had just transpired. The match's umpire didn't take long to step in. Sabalenka was punished for her acts, and the decision was made quickly. Sabalenka's score was instantly reduced by 1 point as the umpire called a hindering penalty. There was a clear message in the call. Particularly in such a prominent match as the Australian Open, such conduct would not be accepted. Sabalenka, however, was not willing to accept the result without a fight. She filed an appeal of the call right away, requesting that the umpire's ruling be reviewed. As the review process progressed, the audience held its breath, but in the end, the decision was upheld. The punishment was upheld because Sabalenka's acts were judged to be undesirable. For Sabalenka, who had previously been able to evade punishment for provocative behavior, the event represented a dramatic change. Sabalenka had already been in trouble for her actions on the court. She actually has a history of making contentious comments and behaviors during games, frequently veering between being intense and acting in an unsportsmanlike manner. Her interaction with Coco Gauff is one instance of this. In an attempt to dissuade the young American from competing, Sabalenka employed her strong grunts and loud screams. In the game, Sabalenka was able to defeat Gauff. However, it was obvious that her emotional outbursts and loud grunts were a part of her plan to obtain an advantage. However, the Gauff match was not a singular occurrence. Elena Rybakina was another formidable opponent Sabalenka had previously met in a tournament final. Even though Sabalenka lost the final in that match, her actions continued to be controversial. Even after the defeat, Sabalenka disparaged Rybakina on camera, raising questions about the validity of her opponent's triumph. It was an awkward situation that demonstrated Sabalenka's propensity to lose her temper and disparage those who disagree with her. Sabalenka's behaviors reached a new low during the Australian Open semi-final match against Svitolina, continuing this pattern of behavior. Her reputation for questionable behavior was further enhanced when she was caught using a racial slur during the game. Even though it was necessary, the umpire's prompt action showed how far Sabalenka had gone this time. Such action served as a sharp reminder of the value of sportsmanship and respect for opponents, for a player of her skill. Unfortunately, Sabalenka's actions displayed a flagrant disregard for both. Even after losing, Sabalenka has frequently shown disrespect for her opponents, which exacerbates the situation. She lost to Coco Gauff in the US Open final, which was one of the most prominent examples of this. Instead of accepting Gauff's win with grace, Sabalenka attacked her opponent, saying that Gauff wasn't superior, but that Sabalenka had just performed poorly. It was a classic instance of Sabalenka attempting to place the blame for her defeat on her opponent instead of taking responsibility for her own inadequacies on the court. She didn't win the game because she played exceptionally well. Rather, it was because I made all of those blunders from what appeared to be an easy ball from the outside. For Sabalenka, this is a recurrent theme. She has a history of disparaging her opponent's accomplishments following each loss rather than praising them. Sabalenka frequently undermines her peers' successes in sports like golf, Rybakina, or Svitolina, or offers justifications for her own defeats. This lack of regard for others and sportsmanship is concerning, particularly for someone who could become one of tennis' greatest players. It's evident that Sabalenka has hit a new low after the racial slur incident in the Australian Open semi-final. Her reputation has been damaged by her acts, and it's unclear how the tennis community will react to her most recent incident. Some will contend that Sabalenka should be given the benefit of the doubt because it was an isolated incident and she should be permitted to go on. Others, however, think that her actions point to a more serious problem with sportsmanship and respect that has to be fixed. Whatever your opinion, it is undeniable that Sabalenka's actions have clouded her accomplishments. Although she advanced to the Australian Open final, her career has been tainted by controversy, and how she responds to the fallout from this event may determine her future in the sport. The tennis community might be forced to hold her responsible if she keeps acting disrespectfully toward her opponents. Regarding the umpire's call, it was a rare instance in which the system functioned as it ought to. Svitolina received a clear message from the penalty call that unsportsmanlike behavior has repercussions regardless of one's identity or the significance of the game. It was a positive move toward maintaining the sport's integrity and making sure that athletes are held responsible for their actions. But the tale didn't stop there. Even though Sabalenka was punished on the court, the psychological effects of her behavior also occurred off the court. The remark clearly had an impact on Elina Svitolina, the victim of Sabalenka's racist slur. Svitolina maintained her cool throughout the match, refusing to let her feelings get the better of her. She tried not to let the disrespect affect her performance by staying focused on the game. However, Svitolina made a strong message by declining to shake Sabalenka's hand after the game. She made it quite evident that she did not support Sabalenka's behavior and that the players' mutual respect had been irreversibly harmed. While some would contend that failing to shake hands following a game is a sign of bad sportsmanship, Svitolina's reluctance in this instance was a reaction to the racist insult and the outright contempt she had experienced. Many saw it as justified because it demonstrated the seriousness of Sabalenka's actions. There will definitely be a lot of discussion on Sabalenka's activities in the days to come. Some may stand up for her, saying that she is a fierce rival who is just overwhelmed by the situation. Some may contend that her actions are intolerable and that tennis players who disregard their opponents and the game itself ought to face consequences. However, it is evident that Sabalenka has a lot of work ahead of her if she hopes to restore her reputation and demonstrate that she is a true sportswoman who upholds the principles of the sport she loves, rather than merely a gifted athlete. Depending on how she responds to the consequences, Sabalenka's career may be defined by the racial insult incident in the Australian Open quarterfinal. Will she grow from her mistakes and exhibit greater maturity going forward? Or will she keep acting in the same ways that have made her a contentious and polarizing figure in the tennis world? One thing is certain, but only time will tell. The tennis community will be intently observing Sabalenka's reaction to this most recent incident, music, and whether or not she can alter the perception of her career.